Hello and welcome to another episode of Our Schools, Our Future. We are talking with representatives of three great schools in our Archdiocese, and we will begin with Father Charlie Latour, the President Principal of Archbishop Hannon, and he has with him Lindsay Osmond. Lindsay and Father, welcome so much to today's show.
Thank you for having us. Merry Christmas. Happy Advent.
Well, and Merry Christmas to you too, and Happy Advent as well.
Thank you very much.
But anyway, I'm so excited to have you here, Lindsay, because you, a student at Archbishop Hannon, you're just making such a difference in the lives of many through a nonprofit that you started.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I started Lindsay's Hits for Kids back in my freshman year whenever I heard about the Miracle League trying to be built in Covington. And having a cousin with disabilities, obviously made the situation very close to my heart. So I started thinking, and I came up with Lindsay's Hits for Kids. So what I did is I went out into the community and went and asked for pledges. So if you pledged $1 a hit toward my high school softball season, and at the end of the season I had 50 hits, that was $50 to the Miracle League. And today I'm right at about $20,000.
That is wonderful. Now, you told me a little bit earlier about the Miracle League and what they're trying to accomplish for special needs children. Could you tell us a little bit about that, what the money is going to go towards?
Yes, they're trying to get a synthetic turf field. Right now they're having to play on dirt, which is really hard, especially for the ones that use, wheelchairs or walkers. A lot of times they get stuck or they don't feel like they can really score if they can't go over home plate because it's raised. So they're trying to get the accommodation of a synthetic turf.
They're working very closely with Coquille Recreational Center, which is right next to our high school. So it works out well that many of our students, as well as students from other Catholic area schools like St. Paul's and SSA, come and volunteer as coaches. And the Miracle League North Shore has been working very hard. I'm on the board there trying to raise the funds necessary to build this field.
Oh, that is wonderful. Mm-hmm. And I think, just as you said, I think the whole community has really gotten involved with this.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And I went to one of the games over there last year, and it was just so heartwarming to see, as you said, many of our students who from the other schools, from St. Paul's, from SSA, from Hannon, are so involved there. Mm-hmm. But, Lindsay, you have just made a difference in the lives of others, and that's what Catholic education is all about, serving and giving back. And then, Father, we're going to be starting something on the North Shore.
We are. We're very excited, you, and with your support and Archbishop Amon's support, we're going to be starting something that's very, very lively and very much been a part of the South Shore community, which is a Mass for students or for children with special needs and for young adults with special needs. Right. And it's going to be held once a month at Our Lady of the Lake. And I think we begin in January. I'm very excited about it. I know I've been to one of those liturgies with you, and to watch and to provide a sacred worship space and a worship time that's really geared around these members of our faith community with these special needs. It's an amazing thing to watch. It's certainly a privilege and an honor on my part to actually preside at that and to share in the prayer with that whole community.
Well, our first special needs Mass on the North Shore is going to be at Our Lady of the Lake, January 15th at 2 o'clock. So I would love it if the community would join us in that. We're going to have it's going to be just a true celebration. And we thank you. And Archbishop Amon is going to be there to celebrate with you. And I'm so excited about it.
I am as well. I think I'm very blessed. And certainly having students like Lindsay with this charity or this 501 that she started all on her own. It just speaks so much to how I think the whole community wants to reach out and make to provide support for these students with special needs. The whole piece behind the whole Miracle League is that every kid gets to play. And that's what this field's about. And if people could only see that they have a Miracle League out on the South Shore, if you ever have a chance, or any of the viewers have a chance, go out to watch that game, because you see that synthetic turf and you watch how these kids literally are able to take these chances and to play, and they play aggressively, and they play fun, and they laugh. It shows you why it's so important to have one on the North Shore as well to serve those kids.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you so much for everything you all do to make the world a better place, especially for children with special needs. But now I want to talk a little bit about Archbishop Hannon and some things that are happening there. Father Charlie, every time I go there, the kids just love it, or I should say the young adults. And it's such a fun place. I can feel the whole Catholic atmosphere. So tell me, what do you do to make it that special feel?
I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. I think it's something that in my 24 years in Catholic education, I've never encountered a school like that, with that sense of it is home for them. It's a second home. 58% of our students participate in at least one sport. 73% of our students actively participate in at least one activity. It's a place where these kids feel at home, where our students support one another. It's not a perfect school, like there are no perfect families, but it's home and it's our family, and we kind of guard that. And we have an incredible group of students and faculty and alumni. I think it all began with John Serio in Miro and the Miro campus, and after Katrina, it just came here and it merged with Covington and it became its own thing. So we're very blessed.
That's wonderful. Before we go, what could I tell our viewers if someone wanted to donate to this nonprofit? How would they go about that?
I have a website, lindsays-hitsforkids.com, and you can go on, and there is a way to pledge online, although usually in about a month or so, I will send out a information packet to pledge through that way. But then I have an email, lindsayosmond@gmail.com. But usually the website, if I don't personally reach out to you, if I happen to not know you or that kind of way, that's usually how that goes.
If they have any questions or if they'd like more information about Lindsay's Hits for Kids, please feel free to call Archbishop Hannon High School, and we'll make sure that Lindsay gets the message.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Well, once again, thank you all so much for
Jen,
everything you do.
And thank you for your support of our schools and certainly this venture with our special needs kids and providing them a special home, a special place.
Well, and I think you said this, and I just want to reiterate this. Archbishop Amen is so supportive of everything that we can do for all children, and in particularly special needs children. And he has really made this part of his vision for this archdiocese.
Definitely has. He's without a doubt a bishop that's committed to the young church, as he calls it, and providing the kind of Catholic education for all of our kids that they truly deserve. Yeah. It's an amazing man.
Well, once again, thank you, and
thank you, Jen.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
You too.
Thank you. And we'll be right back.
My mom is the woman who did the Heimlich maneuver on my grandma. We had just got her food, and then she took a bite of her steak, and I was super scared, and my brother was very little, so he had no idea what was going on. I was really scared, and so I'm really glad she survived.
Welcome back. I'm here with Valerie Rodriguez, the principal of St. Mary Magdalene. Well, Valerie, Merry Christmas, first of all.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
And you have your purple on for Advent.
I do.
So there you go. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And this is your second year
This will be my second year as principal.
But you were there long before that.
Yes, I was.
And I know that you just love St. Mary Magdalene School. So why don't you tell me, why is it so important to you to be part of a Catholic school and community?
I grew up Methodist and up north, so I grew all over, traveled all over the East Coast with my father being Marine. And when we ended up here in New Orleans, my mother went into Catholic education at a local Catholic school, and I just loved the atmosphere.
Pius, right?
St. Pius X, yes, she was there for many years. And I loved the atmosphere. I loved being able to educate that whole child, not just the intellectual part, but the spiritual part, and just felt that that was my place. So.
Well, and let me ask you this. On that note, what does St. Mary Magdalene do to educate the whole child? You talked about the academic, but more importantly, the spiritual aspect. And you know, when I've gone to St. Mary Magdalene, I've seen that. I have felt that. So, and that, I have to say, as superintendent, that is the most rewarding thing to me, is going into schools and really seeing the Catholic identity piece about how kids are treated in such a sacred way. and you said that at St. Mary Magdalene that's so strong. So tell us a little bit about what you do to educate the whole child, both academically but more importantly spiritually.
Of course. Of course, we have all of our academics and meet all those standards that are set forth by the state and by the Archdiocese. But we also try and meet them spiritually through programs that we've instituted this past year or two, being principal. I want to thank Melanie Gauman, our school leader, for her programs, and one of them is the Ladybug Rosary. So once a month, the liturgical club, a group of students come together and they lead anybody, whether it's a parishioner, a student, faculty member, parent, before school on a Friday in the Rosary. We also have started bringing our students to adoration once a month. So after one of the morning masses, the parishioners stay behind and we do adoration, and the students from 1st through 7th grade come in and out just so that they can get to know Jesus a little bit better. We do different programs like our buddy program, where the older students are buddied up with the younger students. And our students, 7th graders and 6th graders, just finished writing some Thanksgiving stories and some Halloween stories. And they went down to the younger students, their buddies, read the stories to them. And after the buddies got to hear the stories, they were able to illustrate the pictures and everything for the stories. So, and then those were sent home. So I thought that was a wonderful little thing. We do little things like that all the time. Of course, we have all of our clubs and organizations, like most schools do, the sports and the drama club. Our guidance counselor leads the drama club. So just everybody pitches in.
Now, out of those programs, and that sounds wonderful, you mentioned to me that there was some new things you all implemented this year.
Yes.
And
those were some. We've always had the buddy program, but now actually getting together on more than just a Christmas occasion to do a project. We're trying to make some of that more the academic as well as the spiritual. But our Ladybug Rosary, our adoration once a month, instead of just going to reconciliation during Advent and during Lent, we try and go every 9 weeks now. We always have our weekly masses, so some of those programs are tradition for St. Mary Magdalene and some are new. So.
Well, that is wonderful. And then let me ask you this, what do you love most about St. Mary Magdalene?
The family atmosphere. We're able to prepare our students for high school, and many of them succeed, and we are so close-knit with our families that they come back to us and tell us how wonderful the students are doing. We have an IM/SMM board in our main hallway right outside of our office, and it just fills up every year with the things that our students do currently at St. Mary Magdalene, out in the community, and also our alumni. Alumni always come back and tell us how wonderful they're doing, both in their high schools but in the community itself.
Yeah. So. And St. Mary Magdalene, around what time was the school?
It was back in the 1950s. It was established. Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it's been around.
It has been around.
A while.
Yes, it has been around.
So you have alums and they send their kids there.
Yes, we do. And Father Bob recently retired, our pastor, and he still is very active. But with Father Chris DeLerno taking over this year as our pastor, he has started to get a new vision for the parish and kind of, is really including the school in it and making us one strong community. Yeah. So.
Well, I know Father Bob loved that school, and he still does.
He still does. He comes and visits all the time.
And then having Father DeLerno, that's wonderful as well. Once again, I just want to say thank you for everything you do and for your ministry, because you obviously love doing it. And at the same time, being a principal, I think it takes you away from your family at times, and you do it so well. So I thank you so much for your ministry and what you give to the church. And I like your story about why a Catholic school,
Yes.
So thank you for everything that
Absolutely.
you do. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Any exciting plans?
Nothing exciting, just spending some time with the family.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. So I hope you enjoy the time
Thank you
off.
very much. I hope you do too.
Oh, thank you. And we will be right back. Thank you.
I needed help finding a doctor.
Pace.
I needed help with my medication.
Pace.
I needed help getting around.
The Shirley Landry Benson Pace Center is a place that helps seniors remain in their homes, providing the care they need. If you or a family member are over 55 years old, you may be eligible for benefits offered by PACE. For more information, contact us at 504-835-0006. PACE, caring for those who cared for us.
Welcome back. I'm very excited that we have Chad Smith, Dean of the Male Students at St. Mary's Male Academy, and we have two students, Jordan Johnson from 7th grade and Kevin Price, a 6th grader. So welcome to all of you. We're very excited to have you here.
We're happy to be here.
Now, I tell you what, Chad,
Yes.
this is a neat thing going on at St. Mary's with this initiative with the Male Academy.
Yes.
Could you please tell me about it?
Oh, wow. This has just been a breath of fresh air for New Orleans East. This is open for all young men between the grades of 5th and 7th grade. These two young men, they were lucky, blessed to be at St. Mary's since at a very early age. So it was easy to kind of introduce them to the Male Academy. But it's open to anyone, Catholic, non-Catholic. If they're interested, you can easily just contact the school. But it's awesome being around young men and being in a female environment, but still having that male influence is very important, and we love it.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, how do you think the boys benefit from the program?
Well, I think by me attending an all-male Catholic school, St. Augustine High School, and going to other schools where they had young ladies in the classroom, I think it can be quite a distraction to some young men. And before I came to the school, I've heard about different conflicts with young men and young ladies. So I said, well, let's take the opportunity to see what happens if we split them up. And so that happened. And just so, I mean, it was just so much power just from day one, just started, just us having restorative practices and talks about who we are and getting to know one another. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal, just sharing.
Well, I'm sorry, go on.
No, just sharing who you are and your experience and learning more about who they are. I think that's the niche that we have.
Well, and what I want to ask about is an instrumental part of the program is the mentoring piece.
Yes.
So how does that help the boys, and tell us a little bit about that. And I want to also hear from the boys and their mentors.
Absolutely. Well, we had a blazer ceremony, and we wanted to really thank Sister Claire, our president, Sister Jenny, and Laurie Menzies.
I love Sister Claire and Sister Jenny.
Yes, they decided to have a blazer ceremony for these young men last year.
A blazer, you mean like in blazers?
Yes, the blazers that we wear. Very important because the blazers has a meaning, especially from the Ivy League schools, the Oxford schools. And so we kind of did some homework on that, and the blazers is just like a term of endearment and power. And so the blazers were blessed, and we were blessed to have community members who are business leaders from the New Orleans community to be their mentors. So I will let Jordan Johnson let you know who his mentor is.
Now, who is your mentor?
My mentor is Senator Wesley Bishop, and my mentor, when he spoke at our blazer ceremony, the thing that got to me, he said, he gave us the alphabets. Always remember your alphabets. They're from A through Z. I can't remember all of them, but the one I do remember is A, attitude. You have to have a certain attitude about yourself. Like these blazers, when I wear this blazer, this is like my protection. Like when I walk around this blazer, you feel like you are learning something. You feel like you have discipline. Like this blazer, you feel like all these words are just on your blazer: discipline, excellence. And when you wear this blazer, you're supposed to wear it with pride and dignity. And we wear it, that's a part of our uniform. And I'm so happy and blessed that we have these blazers, and this is a part of our uniform.
Wow, so the blazer means a lot to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and all right, Kevin, tell us a little bit about your view of the mentoring program and tell us about that.
I think that the mentoring program, it gives us more careers outside, because a lot of them are business and politics, like Jordan Johnson's mentor, Senator Wesley Bishop. Like he introduces us to more ideas of what we want to become when we grow up, and it shows us more thing about like being a man and helping others like that. So that's the benefit of it too. And it gives us ideas of different high schools, like the high schools they went to.
And just yesterday, we were blessed to have a man by the name of Mr. Stelly. His sister works at St. Mary's Academy. Her name is Mrs. Bemis. And Mr. Stelly comes from Huntington Beach, California, to visit New Orleans. And he wanted to meet these young men. He's an engineer, and he's a veteran, and he works as a designer for Pirelli tires, as well as for Porsche Motorsports. So this was an awesome thing yesterday where he came in and talked to the young men about venturing into engineering and just taking a chance or a risk on some things that you may want to do with your career.
Well, for you all to have that is just phenomenal and such a wonderful opportunity. All right, now, so what is it like being on campus with girls?
You want to go first?
Well, we aren't really on campus with girls, but we have activities where we are with the whole school with the girls, like mass, dances, sock hops, and like pep rallies, school events that show school spirit, or like our spiritual masters and stuff like that. And we get to interact with them, but like on campus when we're learning, it's all males, and it gives us a better view because we don't have like distractions that can distract us from our work. Like everybody's the same, and we can understand each other more than we can with like a woman teacher, because they can't teach us all the things about being a man, but a man can.
Well, that makes sense.
I didn't tell him to say that. I promise you.
Well, I also want to just digress a little bit here, because you mentored someone that when you were at St. Augustine that I think all of our viewers would love to hear.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
I had the honor and the privilege to mentor Leonard Fournette. I met him his junior year, and I had an opportunity to work with him his junior and senior year. What did we talk about? Well, we talked about a lot of things, especially a lot of guys, they tend to have that, that robust look when they're taking those pictures for their media pictures in football, college football. Well, I just encourage them to smile and just to be a happy person and to show that leadership that he learned from his family as well as from St. Augustine High School. We also talked about interviewing skills because I had a radio show at the time. And so I learned some things in radio, so I wanted to share that with him. But the one thing about Leonard Fournette that I really love about him is his love for young people, the people that are coming up behind him. He really loves to reach back. He really wants to talk to the young people. He surprises these kids at their parks. I hear about these things. Or he may come to the school one day and just say, hey, how you doing? I mean, he's a busy guy, but he's told me, like, look, I haven't forgot about you, so I'm going to come and see you. But he loves to reach back. And that's the one important thing about Leonard Fournette. He's a community guy, he's a spiritual man, and God bless him. I think he's going to have a wonderful future.
Well, I'm very proud of that Catholic school graduate.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And
that helped him out a lot. He came into St. Augustine with some issues. I know many of us, have seen his documentary that was done. And so he came in with some issues. And like I told the young men on the way here, these schools, they don't sprinkle things on us. We make the schools, the students and the teachers and the principals.
Exactly right.
They make the schools because we are out here telling the good news about our school. So it's nothing no special thing that we have. It's just who we are, and they're just excited to tell the good news.
So let me ask you this. This mentoring program seems like it's something that is just phenomenal, and both of you have talked about how it helps you all. So if someone is watching and they want to be involved with the mentoring program, what should they do and who should they contact?
Oh, wow. Well, they can contact me or they can contact the school. It's funny you say that because on Saturdays we have what we call Science is Cool Saturdays, and it was started by someone in the community by a man by the name of Mr. Byron Cole. And he encouraged me to say, hey, on Saturdays, these guys can get into some trouble, so let's bring them to school and let's talk about gardening and let's talk about aquaculture. We have 2 fish tanks in our classroom right now because of him. I mean, it's just beautiful how the community is chiming in with these young men, and they want to talk to them and they want to spend time. But they can contact me right at the school. St. Mary's Academy is listed on your website. You could just go to stmarysacademy.com. And everything is there for you.
Well, I just want to thank you all for being here today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, this has just been most enjoyable talking to you all and such nice young men. So, Merry Christmas once again.
Merry
I hope
Christmas
you enjoy your Christmas holidays. And I hope all of you have a very wonderful Christmas and a joyous New Year. Thank you.
My mom is the woman who did the Hamlet maneuver on my grandma. We had just got our food, and then she took a bite of her steak, and I was super scared, and my brother was very little, so he had no idea what was going on. I was really scared, and so I'm really glad she survived that.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.